Clapboard.
Okay, are we on? Okay, hi. This is Paula, and we are on the Common Book Show right now. We haven't had a show in a couple weeks because we were in Florida, it wasn't really that warm, so it wasn't a big deal. But anyway, we also went to Washington, and in Washington there was a museum, and the museum was called the Planet Word. So, before I get into that, we have Richard Wicca, we have Greg, we have Gloria, of course Paula, and Tom on drums.
What about James and
What
Brian?
about
Oh,
the
and
Zoom
James and
people?
Brian, I almost forgot about you because I couldn't see your faces. Your beautiful, lovely faces. We have them. They are they're in the witness protection program,
Then why are they on video?
so they're coming because no one knows where they are. All right. So I haven't read this poem yet. At the when you left Planet Word, there was a machine, like a vending machine, and it said press here for words. And so I pressed it, and out came this poem, and I stuck it in my pocket, and I forgot it was there until today. So I don't know if it's a good poem or a bad poem or what it is, but I am going to read it. It's called My Concession, and it's by Charles Joseph Albert. Okay.
Oh, so it's a real poem somebody wrote, not a machine written
No,
poem.
it's a real poem somebody wrote that was printed by
Okay.
at Planet
Okay.
Word. Okay. I used to find it hard to lose at chess. I'd watch in disbelief the check and mate, think through the game and curse to find too late. I'd brought disaster with the bishop's press. In school, a C would cause the same malaise, that sick regret I should have studied more. And when a date would dump me at her door, I'd wander home in a second-guessing daze. And even when I won each victory, the wife, the kids, the job, all seemed to come with further obligations, as though some cosmic law made winning contradictory. It's hard to lose with grace, but now I try. The stocks that bombed, the failed manuscript. My fault was cursing every time I slipped. A win is just a loss postponed until you die.
Wow. Uplifting.
I gotta read that. I have to read that. A win is just a loss postponed until you die. I mean, this guy's a
Sunny, yeah.
he's whiner. He's whining. He's whining. I mean, I could see. I don't know. Just kind of get into acceptance mode and get over yourself.
But you're not accepting him.
I'm not accepting him. I don't have to
you're
accept
saying-
him. I have to accept things about my life that I cannot change.
Oh, good point. And you can't change that poem.
I can't
So
change
just
the poem.
accept it.
But I can say, I can say with authority that it is
It's a good
not.
poem.
It's not my.
It's not up to the Ross from Full level, but it's good.
It's not up to the Ross Runfola
My
level.
favorite poet.
Anybody have any thoughts about this poem?
It was shitty. It was
Yeah,
mediocre.
it's not great.
Yeah.
It was mediocre. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't move me. It didn't startle me. It didn't do anything. It didn't have any feeling to it.
Well,
looked like a
it didn't
robot
have
wrote
any
it.
new
It
ideas.
had no ideas. It's not
Yeah.
even a question of new ideas. It had no ideas. It had no sensibility. It gave me nothing. It was dirt.
I would look at it as good advice
Wow.
for Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's good advice for Joe Rogan.
Joe
If you
Rogan
have a-
wrote it?
If you've got 1 million people following you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can look at that as a win, but you can also look at it as you've taken on a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, all these people
It's going to limit what you say now.
well, not only
And
limit what
everybody
you s-
reminds him of that, and he's like, I don't know.
but everybody.
Yeah, and he says less horrible things now because everyone's saying you keep saying
Does
horrible
he-
things, asshole.
I think though it also you're responsible for people's lives. I mean, you become responsible for people's lives. You're giving them. You're like the Ann Landers of the internet. You're giving them advice, and if they're following it and they do something with it that you didn't expect, you're responsible.
When I watch Joe Rogan occasionally on YouTube, I like to think of the old clips I see of him on Fear Factor, which I just watched recently on Antenna Television, and he's like a kid just a goofy host, and people are eating worms and doing whatever
Oh
crazy
yeah,
thing.
I didn't know that was the same
And then
guy.
he's talking about all these profound philosophical concepts with people on his show. And I'm like, Joe, you don't know half as much as you think you do. He's not an idiot, but
Yeah,
you know.
I don't watch him, so I mean, whatever I say is
But
just
intellectually, he gets way beyond his boots on stuff.
my
you know,
cousin
and he-
Kathy likes him a lot, and she always tells me to watch him, but I haven't. It doesn't.
Well,
interest
he
me.
will admit when he doesn't know something, which I appreciate. So he's not a total jerk, but you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You,
That's
you like me to have the emotions I have, or do you like me to have the emotions you want me to have?
I just at that time we were in a restaurant, and I didn't want him to hurt the people's feelings around us.
Strangers,
So strangers, I just kind of
and I do mean strange.
it. He called it the Deliverance Cafe.
Deliverance Diner.
What state of the union?
We were in
Virginia.
West Virginia.
No, we're in
No, you were in Virginia. Yeah, that's right. We were in Virginia.
Virginia's for lovers, Richard.
And what is West Virginia for?
Haters.
Yeah. So yeah, I just didn't want him. Everyone was. It was weird.
I told the waitress I don't want any pig, and she said, "No pig." What? What? No pig. But that's what we serve here. Pig. How can you have no pig on your sandwich? I'm like, yeah, well.
Well, she didn't quite say that.
She
was
basically
just,
did.
She was just surprised that he wanted. Okay, this is what he ordered. He ordered a ham, bacon, and turkey club without the ham and bacon.
Well, I didn't want any pig.
So the thing is,
She was stunned.
she was stunned. Yeah. She
So I
was-
slapped her.
Turkey Club then, big deal.
well, I know, but you know what? Do you remember the
I had to
food?
go to McDonald's
do you remember
afterwards
the
for some
food at
food.
Woolworths?
I left the
when-
restaurant.
when-
Went to McDonald's.
Are you old enough to remember? Was it Woolworths downtown or was it Neisner's?
That what
Woolworths
did
is
what?
That had a
downtown.
little like
Woolworths had a
place
di-
to eat.
Yeah,
Woolworths.
They had a little
Woolworths.
snack bar.
They had a
Woolworths.
little
Yeah, I
place.
remember that.
Meisner's had one too,
And
but anyway.
when you had a grilled cheese, it was like one piece of cheese and two pieces of white bread, and they browned it on either side.
In 1952.
And this was like years and years ago when I was a little kid, and we'd go there. Well, the food.
It's the orange processed cheese, right? Yeah.
right.
it's awesome.
yeah.
The food resembled that Woolworths
From
food
52.
from 1952.
Even though it was
And it
2023.
may have actually been in the restaurant since 1952. so,
You
so
mean the food people were eating, or the pictures on the menu?
no,
food people were
the
eating.
food that they gave us. All right, I ordered
It looked,
tuna.
like it looked like a time traveling sandwich.
I ordered tuna fish on a bagel. Okay, so when you order tuna fish on a bagel, y I know it's wrong to have expectations. However, I thought there would be a piece of lettuce or a tomato on this bagel.
No.
It was a very thin amount of tuna fish on a bagel served in the middle of the plate.
I'm surprised they had bagels.
No sides. I know he was.
I was
no-
going to say that.
Yeah, no sides.
you were.
And then in his sandwich, same thing. It was like that Wonder Bread, and it was that piece of turkey that looks like that really
It
processed.
wasn't even Wonder Bread. It was something. It was something variant on Wonder
Yeah,
Bread.
so it was very weird, and I knew that the food was weird, and I looked at him, and I know I just wanted him to
Be nice.
suck it up until we got out of there, and then we could talk about it.
But why do you care about what? You should care more about what your husband thinks than
No,
strangers.
I knew what you thought.
You should care more about what your husband wants to say than what strangers think.
I don't think it was. I just don't think it was.
That's
it
the
would have
kind of
served
place
any
you can
purpose.
only really-
Who's more important, me or the strangers?
You're definitely more important, but the
So,
thing is,
but you were neutering me.
I just wanted to get out of there without hurting anyone's feelings. And
Why?
Because I felt bad that we were.
You felt sad for those people.
I felt sad. I felt
At the
like
Deliverance Diner.
at the Deliverance Diner. It was a moment.
So Brian mentioned a book to me this week.
Yeah.
So you might want to ask him about it
What book
The
was
curse.
because this is the comic book show.
it? The Curse.
The Curse of Buffalo Sports. Ask him
Oh,
about that.
I
Yeah.
saw that. I saw that online. Oh yeah, you posted
I skimmed
it.
through it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Did
What's your take on that,
I
Brian?
haven't gotten very far in it yet, but
Oh, okay.
um,
Back to Paula then.
Oh no, I want to go to Richard because he had something about music that I thought would be interesting.
I have two things about music. I have the thing where there's the experiment and just some facts about music.
Okay.
What would you like to hear?
Maybe the facts first and then the experiment.
Today, this is the 45th anniversary of the very first gold record. Anyone care to guess what the first gold record was? That's 500,000 sales.
45th.
How many years?
45.
45.
So that can't be
That's
right.
not, that's not
45?
right.
That
That's, it
can't-
wouldn't have been 78.
Because the first gold record
It was
would
way
have
before 78.
Elvis or
It was
something.
way before 78.
The first gold record was in 1958.
Well, that's
Oh, 58.
65.
That's yeah.
What?
That's 65
That's
years.
65
Oh,
years.
it's 65.
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's not. Yeah. So
45 is 78.
65 years ago,
It sounds kind of funny. 45 is 78.
and it was what?
Yeah, right.
So it was
It does.
40.
Weird.
33. Throw that in there. And a third.
And a
So
third.
it was Frank Sinatra. No, it was
Oh, I know what
Jingle
it was.
Bells.
No,
It
I
was-
know what it was. It was
Wa-
not
Johnny
Jingle Bells.
Mathis.
Was
No.
it an album?
This,
Gold
is the,
album?
this is the first single.
Single.
And then
Oh,
I-
single.
no, it was
and next, I'll tell you
White-
the first
White
gold
Christmas.
album.
no.
Okay.
It was
White
it-
Christmas.
It was the one. It
No,
was the
nobody
one.
got it yet.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No. Everybody give up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perry Como singing "Catch a Falling Star."
That's a
Put it in
classic.
your
Put it
pocket.
in your
There you
pocket,
go.
save it for a rainy day.
Wow.
I used to have.
What did
I
I
used to
get?
wear the Perry Como sweater collection.
You had the Perry Como sweater collection?
Yes, I did.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
In that same year, there was also a first gold album.
Same year.
Johnny Mathis.
Nope. This surprised me.
Okay, I
The-
Surprise us.
The music from the movie Oklahoma.
Oh, that was a
the
big hit.
soundtrack.
guy.
Oh, wow.
That was a
Yeah.
big hit. Did you watch
That
that,
was
the
huge.
musical
Yeah,
part?
We did,
We
yeah.
did. We watched that.
I think
this
I
year.
picked that one.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
a sick one?
Oh, Oklahoma.
Didn't it have some sick, like,
Oklahoma.
misogynistic
What
themes?
was
Yeah, oh,
Star
yes,
in the
yes.
crowd?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Nice sick
Yeah, it did.
misogynistic themes when you're listening to music. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So when
They were
the,
old,
the
yeah.
reporter was writing this article, he had to go to the RIAA. You know, it's the
RIAA.
organization that keeps track of these
yeah.
things.
Okay.
So while he's there, he's checking out all these other facts. Who has the most gold albums? What artist?
I thought that
Garth Brooks.
I thought that changed recently. I thought it was somebody new.
Well, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
The
I'll
Beatles.
tell you the
No,
first
not the
who
Beatles.
has the most, and then I'll tell you the second.
Okay.
This is surprising to me. You want to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
How about you, James and Brian? You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. The first gold album
Herman's
winner,
Hermits.
right, who
Yeah.
has the most, is Elvis. Guess how many gold albums he has?
67.
55.
101.
Wow.
Holy
That's pretty good.
crap.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
In second place, all right, is Barbara Streisand.
Oh, she's got a lot of albums though.
51.
Yeah.
She's never
50.
gonna take over first place.
Yeah, 50 left.
No,
Yeah, she's losing.
Half.
Barbara Streisand, but she put out a lot of albums, and she's not a. Well, he wasn't a songwriter either. He used to
Neither
perform
of
other
them. You
people.
know, it's easy to put out 101 and 51 albums when
If you don't have,
you don't
if
have to write
you don't
songs.
have to write the songs.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, it is a good point.
Now
yeah.
the Beatles are in third place with 48.
They wrote the
Oh,
songs. though.
almost.
Yeah, they wrote the song, so I think
make
that
the whole
counts
world
as
sing.
more.
Now, the organization went into a higher category from gold,
Platinum.
platinum, and then diamond.
Oh,
Diamond, yeah.
So platinum is a million, and then a diamond is 10 million.
okay.
yeah.
All right. What is the first platinum album?
Eagles' greatest hits.
Right.
Oh,
You got that, yeah.
impressive.
Very good.
Yeah.
I hate the fucking Eagles.
He
What's
doesn't
the
like
first
the Eagles.
diamond album?
Michael Jackson.
No.
Diamond album. 10 million copies.
Oh, see, it wouldn't be
That's a
something
lot.
current because they don't sell albums anymore, really. It's
Good
downloads.
point. Good
Yeah,
point.
it's
That's a
downloads.
good point.
It would.
Pink Floyd.
Rumors.
No, I don't think Pink Floyd was that.
Rumors. Oh,
popular.
yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
No, the first album with 10 million copies was by Lionel Richie.
It's hard to
Oh,
believe.
Like Dancing on the
Wow.
Ceiling, Lionel Richie?
It's the album Can't Slow Down.
It's
I
hard
don't
to
know
believe
what
that
the
he sold
tracks
10
are. Do you
million.
know what the tracks
No.
are?
Lionel Richie.
It's hard to
That's-
believe.
That's really. I mean, I guess he
He's
appeals
once,
to.
twice, 3 times a
he's
singer.
mellow.
He appeals to more, older and
So
not so much younger.
that was the first. Now people then, you could have more than one Diamond album,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
Who has the most Diamond albums?
Floyd.
Mellow.
Garth Brooks.
Oh, I
That's
said Garth
Oh,
Brooks
Garth
earlier. I
he,
should've
Brooks.
he
said-
must be really
That
popular.
figures.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he is
Do you
really.
think popularity means anything in terms of music?
Well, that when you read this article, that's the first thing I thought of.
Exactly.
Like
That's what I'm
all
bringing it
that
up.
all that this is telling you is what people were willing to pay for.
right,
the masses.
the
huddled masses. You're
Yeah.
free.
What pleases
Yeah.
the crowds.
and so
Usually junk, like Garth
usually
Brooks.
yeah usually even with bestsellers I
Or the
take that with a
Eagles.
grain for books I take that with a grain of salt. Sometimes something really good gets on the bestseller list, but a lot
Like-
of times it's all tripe.
Like the Holy Bible. It sold a lot of copies.
Yeah,
And
it sold
you
a lot
like-
of copies.
You like that.
Yeah, I do like the Bible.
That's
it's,
number
it's
one.
fun. It's full of mayhem
It's number
and
one.
murder and
Yeah, there's a lot of torture
And incest.
racism and incest.
There's
And-
not a lot of people in the Diamond Club.
No.
Just so you know, the Beatles had 6, Led Zeppelin had 5,
wow.
Eminem, Shania Twain, and Whitney Houston had 3, and that's it.
That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. And then, because albums are just like I mean, people do buy vinyl now. They call it vinyl. It's not an album anymore. It's vinyl. It's so
Well,
warm. But
the first artist who had a Diamond single,
yeah.
can you guess who that would be? 10 million?
I've lost sound.
Tiny Tim.
I've lost sound.
We hear you. The thing is, no, I think the Beatles. Wouldn't the Beatles be the?
ABBA.
I would have thought that.
Yeah.
Elton John, you know that Candle in the Wind about Princess Di?
Oh, about
Yeah.
Princess Di. That was.
Yeah.
I like the Marilyn Monroe one better.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the.
You know
Marilyn
what he
Monroe.
said to King Charles, right? He said, "Fuck you. I don't want to do your
Yeah, he-
coronation."
Nobody would do the coronation.
He wanted him, but he said, he blames King Charles for dying in the car crash.
Huh.
So, Elton
Do you
loves,
agree with
he
that?
loved-
He's a conspiracy theorist?
Hey, James, what about this thing about the January 6th thing is unraveling? What does that mean?
Well, have you seen any of the videos?
I've
Well,
seen a lot of the videos.
I-
Yeah, but there's 47,000 hours of footage, so it's kind of hard. 47 hours of
Are
footage.
you
is
just
not-
are you just referring to the edited footage that was played on Fox?
No, I'm talking about the full breadth of videos that are out there.
Okay, yeah, I've seen
What's
them.
the unraveling mean?
Well, the people who say that it is unraveling say that because there's too many videos showing something other than people rampaging. And the people who said that police officers and security guards were being murdered during this insurrection.
Yeah, they were murdered. They're dead, and their families are grieving. So yeah, they were murdered. There's bodies.
What's the alternative version, James?
The alternative version, I can't tell you, although I have certainly seen enough to say that this idea that you had these bloodthirsty people coming to burn the Capitol down doesn't seem to pan out for the majority of people who were there.
Well, right. Well, a lot of the people weren't. A lot of the people were not there to hang Mike Pence, but there was a gallows erected in front of the Capitol building to hang Mike Pence. So I agree with you. Not everybody that was there knew what they were getting into. I think that there were a lot of people who were simply followers who just went along with the crowd. But I also think there was a mob mentality, and whenever there's a mob mentality, it can get crazy. So the thing is, somebody shit in Nancy Pelosi's office, and it's not because they couldn't find the restroom. It's because they were a fucking idiot who did not respect our government. People were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." Mike Pence was whisked off into a separate area. Yes, there were a lot of people who were just there incidentally, and I feel bad for those people. I think that in even those people, though, it's easy to get swept up in a mob mentality. I mean, think about being at a concert where, let's say you went to this concert with a friend, and the friend was really into this band, and you didn't really like him, and everybody stands up and is screaming and dancing and yelling, and yes, you may get up and scream and dance and yell too, because you're part of this bigger thing, this organism. It's an organism. A crowd is an organism. So yeah, a lot of those people, James, I feel bad for those people. They didn't know what they were getting into. They were not prepared for what was going to happen. But in the big picture, something happened, and it wasn't sightseeing. And I don't care what anybody says. There are people being arrested and people who are going to prison for this now. And I don't think that there were people that died. People died. So I just know there were not good people on both sides. You know,
You mean
you
both
know
sides?
that one
Oh.
comment that Trump made about that thing in the where was that, James? North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Where did that white supremacist rally happen?
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville. Okay.
Charlottesville.
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 So, you know, he said they're both good people on both sides, and I just
No, but there was probably good people on both sides at the riot.
at
but,
the right at the
but
right.
it's
Yeah,
just
I
that-
was just making a
I mean, it was just at the insurrection, but there's a lot of bad people who were doing the damage and wanted to hang Mike Pence. So,
Yeah.
but there were some good
but
people on
but
both
the
sides.
thing is, what I believe is that they were all there because they really did think. They were led to believe by Fox News, who
And Don.
admitted to lying about it. They were led to believe that something bad had happened in our government, and they wanted to save the day. They were trying to be heroes. They tried to save the day. But somebody's got to pay for this, and the person that stirred it up was, of course,
Don,
our fearless leader, Don.
Johnny.
And then Fox News, that knew perfectly well that they were begging Trump to call it off, and he still didn't do it.
Well, later that day, he finally did the video.
Yeah,
it
but
took
they
a long
had
time.
to. But they had to take that down because he thanked them for being loyal
wonderful
people.
people.
So
I love you.
Very
yeah,
special.
I
to-
love you. You're very special people. And the thing is, yes, they thought they were doing the right thing, James. I believe that in my heart of hearts. They really believed that they were doing the right thing when they were doing this, but they were misled. And
They were brainwashed.
they were right. They were and
They were brainwashed.
and the people that brainwash them are the people that are responsible. And I want to see those people pay for it, and they're not going to because our society.
And
is
they
not
all got
there.
rich. Tucker Carlson and all those people did it for the money. They don't care about the United States of America. They care about the United States or their bank account. All those people.
Yeah. So I believe what my eyes saw, and I believe what happened was it was a travesty of justice, and it was a travesty of justice perpetrated by our ex-president, who is a dangerous psychopath. Okay, that's my opinion.
Your response, Mr. Walker?
I have no response.
Oh,
Oh wow, that's too bad.
well, that's too bad.
I was
but-
waiting for your response the whole damn fucking time.
Yeah.
That was what I was waiting for. That
Yeah.
magic moment with the response.
Yeah, and I mean, I have, like I said, I don't disagree with you that that there were people who were there who were not wanting to do bad things, but I also I've been in a mob.
Right, but on January 6th, it was the Proud Boys and the militia elements that started all the violence. Most of the people there probably weren't going to become violent,
There
but
were- right,
those
there were
elements
People there with their
spurred all that.
moms. There were people there with their moms. They were just going to, to support President Trump because they believed that
Right.
that the election was stolen, and they wanted to get him put back into power because it was the right thing to do because they were Americans, and
Isn't it great that we can all come together on Saturday nights and be here with each other in a spirit of love and peace?
Am I yelling too much?
You're gonna be okay. They're there.
Okay, we were talking before about this music thing. We were talking about you gave us the information about the music,
Yeah,
but now there's some kind of a
an experiment.
experiment. I'd
Yeah.
like to do
So
that.
it's a 3-part experiment, all right?
Yeah.
A piano has 7 octaves.
Okay.
So in the psychology lab, they said, let's take a song. The notes of the song are all in 1 octave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's fool with it. So if the first note is D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take the lowest D on the scale. And then if the second note is like an F, let's take an F from the highest octave.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it all together and see if anybody can recognize what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to play it for you and tell me if you can recognize what the song is. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Anybody recognize it?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay, so part 2 of the experiment is I'm going to play it for you in the same octave, the way
Okay.
you normally hear it.
All right.
Instead of jumping all over the keyboard, it's always going to be in the same octave.
Right.
And you should be able to recognize it.
Okay.
Then part 3 is the interesting part.
Okay.
Yankee
yeah.
Doodle.
Yankee Doodle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
Okay,
All right.
now,
So you're going to combine the two, right?
no. Now that you've heard part 2, when I play part 1 back for you,
Oh.
you'll recognize it immediately.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't recognize it.
I don't.
You can't hear Yankee Doodle
No,
in
me
that?
neither.
Because
No.
90% of the people they played it for could hear Yankee Doodle. in
They were
that.
just they
Wow.
were just they
Power
were
of
just
suggestion.
power
Maybe.
suggestion on that. You're right,
Maybe.
Gloria.
Yes.
They were being told that
I
now you've
agree
got to
with
hear
Ray.
it immediately, and then they all said, "Yeah, I can hear it immediately," because they already knew what it was. But no, I couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear
And
it.
I'm Mr. Musical.
Yeah, and I usually I'm one of those people. If I hear the first 3 notes of a song on the radio, I know what it is right away.
That's true because we we had the radio on, and it came out with the first 3 notes, and it was burning down the house. I had no idea what it was. Talking Heads. She's like, "Oh, Talking Heads." Like, it was like 2 seconds. I'm like, "What?"
That's an easy one.
I
to
have no
get.
idea. What you know?
Yeah, but I can do it pretty much. I'm very good at coming up with the song. If there's anything unique about that song in the first couple bars, I can pick it up in the first few notes.
We watched Name That Tune on YouTube from the 70s, and you did it very well.
Yeah.
You were fantastic at it. We were watching old 70s clips of it.
I have a musical brain.
You do. I don't. I'm totally unmusical. Completely. 100%. That's why we get along so well.
But you like music.
I like it. I guess so. I don't know. It's all right.
Now, Gloria, on the other
Take it
hand,
or leave it.
Gloria has a. We were talking about this the other
Yeah.
day. I have when I hear music, I listen to the lyrics and I learn the lyrics, and I'm very into the words that are being said. I like the music part. I can move to the music part, but I listen to the words. Gloria, on the other hand, gets so enmeshed in the sound
The
and
musicians,
the rhythm.
what they're doing,
And-
how they're making the sounds.
And she's one of the few women I know that was always aware of who all the players were in bands. Well, she would say things like, "Oh, this is so and so," and I'd be like, "I don't know who's in this band."
but she knows all the words, all the lyrics to the songs, and
and she
I
knows
went-
all the people in the bands. You know?
I'm impressed with the musicians' ability. And I seen a Stones tribute band last night at the Riviera, and I'm so impressed. You know, there's like an 8-9 piece band, and I got to check out every single one, who's playing what and what they're doing and how good they are. They were all great, by the way, except Jagger was he was
you
not
can't match that charisma.
No,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if
He
you,
was kinda
if you
stuck.
close your eyes, could you imagine it was the Stones?
No, there was some sound problem with the vocals in my. It was distorted. The vocals were not sharp. He was being drowned out. He wasn't, wasn't.
They were probably trying to drown him out.
No, the musicians were fantastic, all of them. And they're different. Who's playing the sax and the flute, and who's doing bongos and keyboards and harmonica, and everyone was phenomenal. The singer wasn't so great, and he was stuck in an early mode.
Not easy to be Mick Jagger though.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got quite the persona that has evolved over 50 years. He's going to be 80 in July.
I know. Can you imagine? He's still
Crazy.
jumping around on stage like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How much of Mick Jagger's fame is attributable to his voice, and how much is you can attribute to his stage presence?
Oh, that's hard to say.
I'd say mostly the stage presence.
Stage presence. He has a lot of charisma. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
a very unique, good voice for rock and roll, but he is all charisma on stage. If you see him live, he's mesmerizing. It's like he's like
He's in a trance.
He's dynamite. He's
Yeah.
all over the place. He's always moving. He's very energetic, which is putting it mildly.
Yeah. So I feel like I think it's definitely his charisma though that
Because if he
makes
sang
him-
a song blandly, without just not moving like Neil Diamond, he'd just stand there and sing.
Well,
it's-
it would be almost like if the Stones never toured, would they have been as famous?
I don't think so.
See, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe the fact that they toured and people got to see them and experience them is what.
Especially
experience
him,
the
not
live,
the rest of them.
The live concert experience is really, for me it is at least kinetic. I am.
It's
in
that
the moment.
contagion mob mentality.
Mob contagion. Yes. Yeah.
In a
but-
slightly more controlled venue, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, things have happened, like at the Doors concert when those
Altamont.
people got
The Hells
trampled.
Angels were
Yeah.
security.
And I mean, bad things have happened, but it generally it's more about that shared uplifting feeling of the music.
Mr. Walker, are you a fan of the Stones?
I can't say that I am.
Are you? But you like
Just
music?
like the Stones.
He not only has gone to a lot of Kiss concerts, he has paid so he could go meet the band
Wow.
backstage.
Yeah.
He's
So,
got pictures of himself with Gene Simmons.
James, aren't Kiss talentless though?
They are not the most orchestral band.
It's a nice way of putting it.
very, very well put.
James, how far back did you meet them first time?
79.
Cool.
Huh?
Wow,
That's going
yeah.
way
Now,
back.
you didn't do the groupie thing with him, did you?
In 79, if you wanted to meet Kiss, all you had to do was show up early because they would let you in during the sound check.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was a whole different era back then, and they were a lot younger.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was a long time
so
ago
is
in a
that-
galaxy far, far away.
I'm going to assume that's your favorite band, but what genre of music do you generally gravitate toward?
Pop and dance.
Yeah, I was gonna guess that because I thought you were a dancer. That's good.
He knows a lot about Blondie.
Blondie, yeah,
Blondie's
yeah.
cool. I like Blondie.
They're not as good as Kiss, but they'll do.
And when I was talking to him the other day, he goes to a lot of karaoke.
Yeah.
He says when you choose a song in karaoke, if there's somebody in the audience that knows you, you have to be careful because they might interpret you chose that song to send them a message.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
well,
probably-
that's an
you probably,
interesting
you probably
thought.
did, so they're right.
I could see that, especially if you're going to a lot of karaoke and that person associates certain things with you. I could see you.
So he passed on an event where an old girlfriend would be in the audience because
Yeah.
he knew every song he could possibly choose, she was going to interpret it in a negative way.
You could have done "Bitches Back."
Well, that would be a negative way, though.
Yeah, I know.
No way she could get the wrong idea about that.
No. I like that song. That's my favorite Elton song.
Yeah. So anyway. So
Miley Cyrus recently did that with Elton in the
Bitches
front,
Back?
front row. Yeah, Bitches
yeah,
Back.
Oh,
That makes sense because she likes to pretend she's a bitch.
Yeah.
That's her persona.
What
How-
did
how bitchy
Elton write
she
that
is.
about? What was he
He
saying?
didn't
don't
write it.
know.
Bernie Taupin wrote it.
But
Oh,
I mean,
well, there were
what's
a
the purpose of it?
team.
I
Oh, he's saying that he's a bitch.
he
Elton is the bitch?
The singer is a bitch.
Maybe it was after he recovered from all his low point of the drugs and
No, that was
everything.
later.
Oh, I don't know. It was a guess.
yeah. I don't know. I'd have to think about what the lyrics are.
He
in
was
order to
still
give you
rolling
an
along
interpretation.
with his superstardom in '75 when he put that out. It wasn't after the fall.
Yeah, I'd have to think about the lyrics, but I think it was written about him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bernie wrote about Elton and Elton sang it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't about. it
Elton
wasn't
doesn't
about
write
a woman.
lyrics.
Yeah,
He has no facility for writing lyrics. He just writes the music.
Hmm.
He's had a bunch of different lyricists.
Mac.
What was that?
Kind of like Fleetwood Mac, where you have Lindsey Buckingham writing a song about two people breaking up, and then Stevie Nicks has to sing it to him.
oh,
Yeah, right. They broke up. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, there.
Backing up's all you want to do.
So I mean, there are songs that there's a bunch of songs that is. I don't know if it's because of the time of life that I remember the song from, or if it's the actual lyrics of the song. Most of the time, it's not necessarily the lyrics, but that as soon as I hear them, I start to cry. As soon as I hear them, there's that Stevie Nicks song about
Landslide.
Landslide. Every time I hear that song, I cry, and I have.
And you don't know why?
That's because
or
you're a girl, Paula.
Or you do know why?
I am not.
Oh, what the-
Yeah, and
You're
I
just a girl, just a girl, just a girl.
and I mean some songs that I can't even put any reason to it, like Moon River makes me cry. Moon River, why?
Does it?
Every time I hear it, I cry.
Your childhood.
It
that's
must
why.
have been something that happened in my childhood while that
Probably
song
something
was
I did
on.
in your childhood.
Yeah, because he's reincarnated. He's my father reincarnated. I know it sounds weird.
Call me
but
Chet.
It works.
Shit.
It's incest. Is there something wrong with incest? Are you trying to say there's something wrong with incest, people? There's incest is great.
It's not. It's not
Oh,
incest.
say hello to Peter Joe. He's
Hi,
watching.
only because they heard it all.
He's talking about the
already.
the Yankee Doodle Dandy thing.
Oh, the Yankee Doodle. Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah. That's what we said.
Yeah.
Peter J.
So,
he's the one who
well-
influenced me the most in life.
I have one thing. I don't know. I read this to Greg. I don't know how much he liked it, but there's a story in here about a guy who collects. He's blind, and he moved to an island, and he collects seashells, and he does it by feel. He can tell any seashell by the way it feels, and there's one particular seashell that is poisonous, and he knows it's poisonous, and he's avoided it, but for some reason it has a positive effect on some medical conditions. So he's taking it back. No, it wasn't a. This guy wanted to see. He was a journalist, and he wanted a small one of these things to sting him, so he could see what it felt like. It wouldn't kill you unless it was bigger. So he was the blind guy. He thought, what an asshole! I'm gonna bring this thing back, and I'm gonna let it sting him, and it's gonna kill him. And that's what he had in his head when he was collecting this shell for him. And
So the shell has a creature in
it's
it?
right.
Oh.
Yeah, they're houses of the creatures.
Uh-huh.
So this is the guy. He's blind, and he's going to get this shell, and he's going to let this
Journalist.
get stung so he can see what it's like. But in the back of his mind, he knows it'll probably kill him. All right.
What
So
a mean blind guy.
so right.
Yes.
So he took the cone shell and flung it as far as he could back into the lagoon. This is after he decided not to do
He
it.
changed his mind.
Yeah. He would not poison them. It felt wonderful to make a decision like this. He wished he had more shells to hurl back into the sea, more poisons to rid himself of. His shoulder seemed terribly stiff. And this is one of the symptoms of being bitten by this creature. Okay, so this is, to me, this was the most interesting written example of your life passing before you I'd ever read. So that's why I'm reading this, okay? Then, with a clarity that stunned him, a clarity that washed over him like a wave, he knew he'd been bitten. He was lost in every way in this lagoon, in the shell of this private darkness, in the depths and convolutions of the venom already crippling his nervous system. Gulls were landing nearby, calling to each other, and he had been poisoned by the cone shell. The stars rolled up over him in their myriad shiverings. His life had made its final spiral, delving down into the darkest whirl, where the shell tapered into shadow. What did he remember as he faded, poisoned finally into the tide? His wife, his father, Josh. Did his childhood scroll by first, like a film reel, a boy under the northern lights, clambering into his father's Bell 47 helicopter? What was there? What was hot? The hard kernel of human experience at the center, a dreamy death in water, poison, disappearing, disillusion, the cold sight of his Arctic origins, of 50 years of blindness, the thunder of a caribou hunt, lashing bullets into the herd from the landing strut of the helicopter. Did he find faith, regret, a great sad balloon of emptiness in his gut, his unseen, barely known son, just one of Josh's beautiful unanswered letters? No, there was no time. The venom had spread to his chest. He remembered this, blue. He remembered how that morning one of the Jims had praised the blue body of the reef fish. That blue, he said. The shell collector remembered seeing blue in ice fields in Whitehorse as a boy. Even now, 50 years later, after all his visual memories had waned, even in dreams, the look of the world and his own face long since faded, he remembered how blue looked at the bottom of a pinch of crevasse.
It's good writing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the story in itself was a little convoluted because it was long and it had different sections, but reading that, it was like the first time I read the section of the John Steinbeck book, Grapes of Wrath, where the guy buys the truck. There's a whole paragraph where the guy buys the truck that they're going to go across the country, and it's like happening in real time. It's the way it's written. It's like happening right now, and it just goes from one thing to the other. And that whole I must have read that paragraph 10 times while I was reading the book because it just.
Because you liked it or you couldn't understand it?
No, because it exploded in my head. You know, it was just so. It was perfectly visual. I could see everything the way he said it because he wrote it in the present tense. And it was just amazing. So anyway, that was that.
The store had tires, milk, coffee,
Well,
rubber
all right.
bands,
So this is the.
beer, tortoise shells.
Greg doesn't agree with me about John Steinbeck because, well, first of all, I tried to trick him into liking John Steinbeck, and the way I did this was. He asked me what I wanted for my birthday one year. We were just friends. We weren't dating or anything.
That's sick.
And I said, I want you to make me a book on tape of Tortilla Flat, which is a skinny John Steinbeck book. I said, I will give you
Cannery Row.
Cannery Row. It was Cannery Row. Okay, I gave him the tapes, and I said, I want you to read the book into the tape recorder and make me a book on tape.
Oh, God.
Manipulative, tricky, deception.
Exactly, Gloria.
It was. I admit to all of that.
It was a nightmarish experience. It was like a Kafka-esque experience, even though it was Steinbeck. Even though it was Steinbeck. I would have been better off with Kafka.
And he read read it, and this is okay.
Monotone.
He
Read it. How did he read it?
Monotone.
Monotone.
It was like this. It
There's
was like
a lot of lists in
one
the book.
problem with the Quran is that there are actually 7 versions of it, and although there are only 2 of the 7 are in popular use today, the
And then,
differences
and then
Unlike
he would
corresponding books
stop
in the
and
Catholic
say,
and Protestant-
"Son of a bitch, I hate this
what a
shit."
bunch of boring bullshit. This
So
guy's a
wait,
horrible writer.
Paula, you thought by making him read it into a tape recorder or whatever device, you would make him like it?
I thought that he would find the book interesting and want to
Okay.
go on.
It did make me think that people should do books on tape or books on CD, and they should comment on it when they're reading them. you never hear that. You never hear the person stop and say,
This
"What
is
the
shit.
fuck does that mean?" Yeah, this is shit, or I don't agree with this bullshit, or whatever. Yeah, they never do that on books on CD. I never heard it
No,
once.
never once. But when I used to read for the radio reading service, I would comment sometimes.
Yeah, well, you did that yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wasn't supposed to, but I would.
No, throw a commentary in.
That's where I met. That's where I met Steven,
Who?
Brian.
Who's Steven?
Brian.
Steve Myers?
Yeah,
Oh, Steve
Oh,
Myers.
the
right.
writer.
Oh, I forgot he worked there.
yeah, he was working there, and I
I
met
forgot
Is he the
him.
one who
was
makes the
there.
ambient
Steve's-
music?
Yeah, he's the one with the
He's,
band.
he's good.
Yeah, I love his band. His band
Yeah,
is
it's very
great.
ambient.
Steve's had so many different part-time jobs. I can't even remember all the ones he's had.
Yeah, that's how I met him, and then
So-
I met you through him. You both came to my poetry reading.
I have a podcast, and I have a movie, and I made the movie into the TV shows, and I have a book, and I have a
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I didn't know you were going to
Impressed-
call me on it.
well, Gloria came today, and I'm really glad she came because she hasn't been here in a long time.
Yeah,
It's-
it's been
it's
a long
fun.
time, but I.
Let's hold hands.
Definitely.
And I'm glad that you were able to come
Oh,
because
thank you.
you've got so much going on. You got the apartment's empty now. So is he going to take that downstairs apartment?
Yeah, my tenant in the
Yeah.
back is going to move to the front,
Good.
and I have a couple candidates for the back.
Okay.
So that's all good. It got painted,
Do you do-
finished yesterday.
Do you do Airbnb at your place?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, just
Have you
permanent.
ever thought about that? About having
No, yeah, I
strangers
thought
come
about it.
across?
No, not doing it too much work.
Too much work.
Yeah, it's enough work
That makes sense.
maintaining
yeah,
the
to have
units.
to clean every time somebody's there.
Oh my God, this guy was only there 2 years, and he shouldn't have needed all the painting and everything that it did.
he was
out-
smoking down there though.
He was allegedly super clean, but he was not. The stove. I'm thinking of buying a new stove. It's how dirty it is. It's pretty bad.
That
I'd
person.
spend a lot of hours if I want to scrub, and it was spotless before, so
Yeah. Well.
yeah, that's that. So
Well, I'm
I didn't
glad-
come on a show to talk about
I know, but I'm glad.
the
I'm glad
dirty
you-
work.
I'm glad you were able to come. That was good. That's
Oh,
good.
thank you. Yeah, it was
So-
nice. I needed to get out of the house, and
Yeah. Good.
as all things worked.
So Brian and James, do you
Look
have?
into the heavens, Paula.
I'm looking for them up in the heavens.
Yeah.
Are you guys reading anything right now?
Yeah, he's giving the curse book, Brian.
Brian's got the curse book, but how about James?
See, he's wearing the Bills.
What's the curse book?
It's the curse of Buffalo sports.
Oh, you
Yes.
mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not into sports, so I don't
James
care.
is reading Gene
How about
Simmons' autobiography.
Greg, did you read the part about how the team in the early 1900s that became the Boston Red Sox was supposed to be the Buffalo?
Yeah,
team?
they talk about that all the time because they want to make the big connection between
I-
the Red Sox and Buffalo. Because Buffalo's always grasping
curse.
straws and we don't have any fucking stuff here. So it's like,
Yeah.
I know that, right? The curse for the Bambino came later though. That was it's
Right.
Two separate.
But the guy
Wait a
when
minute. I'm
when
sorry,
the Boston
Brian.
Red
We don't talk
Sox
about we don't talk about sports on this show. This is Paula's comic book show.
No.
Oh wait,
No,
it's
this
a
is
book
just
though.
one-
Oh, it's a book.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
No, it's just one cool factoid. The guy that was the first manager of the Boston Red Sox grew up in Buffalo. He was from Buffalo, and they won like 5 World Series titles under his managership.
Right.
He was from Buffalo.
That's wild. Yeah.
And then after that, of course, they didn't win for what, 86 years
86 years. Yeah. 'Cause
or something
It's like
like
I
that.
cried 96
took
tears.
86 years off. Yeah.
cry.
But that
Cry,
teen-
cry, cry. 86 years.
Cry, 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 cry.
Yeah. 86.
And
I want to hear Gloria sing Gloria.
Gloria.
no, I got a better
Yes.
a better Gloria.
Oh,
That's
yes, she does.
Gloria, an eccentric Dago.
I don't think that's woke.
Now,
I like woke stuff on the show.
so James, do you mostly watch videos? You're not really as much of a reader as a watcher.
It's not that I'm not a reader. It's that my current situation is that I just don't have the time. I used to be the kind of person who would read books all the time. I've even read the books of Habelstam and other crazy 1,500 and 2,000 page books in my life. So it's not that I'm against it. I just currently
Yeah, I know. With your mom's situation, how's everything going
So
with
you're
her?
taking care of your mom, James?
doing the best I can.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, man.
It's not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard because she's not living near him, so it's a lot of traveling,
Right.
a lot of.
I've given my mother away to Paula.
Yeah.
It's working out great for me.
He has.
If
and-
that were an, if
What did she
that
say
were-
today? What did she say today? Talk about today.
okay, today I took her to the. She had to get a EEG done on her head because she's got memory issues, and of course when they do the EEG, they put a cap on your head and there's gel and it's like a glue almost to stick into your head. And so they took it off of her head, and her hair was like all over the place. And she comes marching out of the room, and she's like, "I'm incensed! I'm incensed! No one told me this would happen. Why didn't someone tell me this would?" And she tells me to go home and wash my hair. I don't wash my own hair. I can't go home. And so she's. And I initially I jumped and I said, "Get off your high horse." It happens to everybody who has this test done. Everyone has to go through this. And then I realized, okay, she's going to forget this in about if I count to 30, she won't have any memory of this. So I just let it go, and then we ended up getting her hair washed at the
Supercuts?
Supercuts, and that was
Good
and-
idea.
Yeah, and I don't remember. She
I used to be
threw-
inside her.
What did I say? She threw another fit. Where did she throw the other fit?
That was good thinking,
at the,
though.
at the Supercuts. She
At
threw it
Supercuts.
when we first. They wanted her to wait for an hour, and she's. But I have to go to the restroom, and I'm not going back there. And I've got to go to the restroom, and I'm hungry. I'm very hungry. And
Queen Mary.
I said, well, we'll go to lunch, and then you can go to the restroom at the restaurant. Oh, okay. So we did that, and we were back in an hour, and she got her hair washed. But
I'm thinking about having her put to sleep. Once they get that old, you just put them to sleep. You take them to the veterinarian,
Wow.
and you say, "This is my mother, and how much will it cost to,
She
you know,
is
just give it
very-
a shot." You know, it hasn't happened yet.
Well-
We're debating it, I guess.
Well, like-
I don't know.
like
I
when-
honestly didn't any more reason to
I think they
debate.
do it in Denmark, bro.
well,
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
true,
is,
Brian.
The thing is,
Yeah.
that's a good way to get him to go to Europe. So
Yeah.
Take her abroad with us and not bring her back.
Take your mother, though.
yeah, so we're
Yeah,
you know she
the three of us together.
She forgets it only takes her about 5 seconds to forget what just happened. So but I have to remember that because when she
It's like Mr.
Not
Tom
react.
Hanks, Mr.
when
Short-Term
she, right,
Memory.
Yeah.
instead of reacting, I
Yeah.
gotta just stop, let her get it out of her
Vent.
system, and then as soon as we leave the place, it's gone. She has no recollection of what just happened.
Until she
does-
walks in the restroom and sees her hair.
Right. So that was what I was hoping, that when she went to the restaurant and saw her hair, that she wouldn't go off again because she didn't. And it did. It was bad. It was.
But you
glue.
know,
There
you were
big-
really smart, though,
big
to
hunks
think
of it stuck
to
together.
think of taking her to Supercuts instead of taking her to nursing homes, saying, "Oh, well, there's AIDS; they'll wash her hair." Like you said, it could have been an hour or more before they were able, because they're short-staffed
It was,
and all
it
that.
was like a
It was good
bolt,
thinking.
a bolt out of the blue. As I'm driving, I'm thinking, where can, and as soon as I had the thought, there was a Supercut. I don't
Oh,
know-
wow.
Do you remember
Perfect.
I kept saying when we were drunk on tequila that time? There's music.
Divine.
on
Yeah,
the
she
left.
expects me to remember. Is that funny?
when we were on the Tuscarora Indian
Oh,
Reservation.
I remember that.
And I kept saying, I sense music somewhere on the left. And we were bombed out of our minds. I don't know why I was driving.
I don't either.
And-
I ended
and-
up on the back seat,
And then we ended up
sleeping
we ended up getting stuck on the Indian reservation, but that's
and
okay.
needing to be rescued.
Rescued, yeah.
Okay, how did we get there?
Because there was a
Supercuts.
Supercuts on the left.
Oh, you heard music. Okay.
But so
We have a lot of.
it was it you know what, it's an interesting experience, Richard.
What? My mother?
His mother. I'm looking
Yeah, it's
at
interesting.
it.
All right.
I'm looking at it as an experience I've never.
Anthropology, yeah.
As an anthropologist from another planet.
I don't look at it that way.
No, because it's your mother and she can hurt you still. My mother could hurt me too, and she's gone.
Well, every time we get together with her, she insults me.
She does. She's horrible.
Every single time. She
I
never
heard-
she never misses a chance to insult me.
I heard a joke.
Is she
that
really
mo-
creative with it though?
Well, hang on, Brian. We're
That most, that's not true. It's a joke. A joke,
Is
get
this a
it?
joke, Gloria?
Most anthropologists are women because they're good at digging up the past.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's
Men
true.
would like that one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm kind of a man.
yeah. Well, the thing is,
I'm a partial man.
I mean, if I were to think about it as it's challenging, but it's interesting.
It's a
It connect to the earth.
watching
dirt.
watching
course.
a person who has lost their ability to
Breathe.
make long-term memories from
Oh.
short-term memories. They can't. There's no way for it to pass into that. It's interesting because I can say anything to her and she won't remember. I could tell her anything, even if I wanted to unburden my deepest, darkest secrets on this woman, I could do that because she wouldn't remember in 5 minutes. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
I don't.
Well,
yeah, I
then
hope not, because it could be something profound and would upset her.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she'd
no.
remember it
yeah.
later.
But
well, I mean, does she know
Maybe.
that I'm your father?
I've never mentioned that to
I mean,
her.
let's,
That would
let's-
make you
let's
her
tell her that
husband.
next time we see her together. We'll want to break something to you, mother.
Well, my mother
I
had
am Paula's father.
my mother had Alzheimer's, and she didn't recognize her son, so my brother. Like,
Right.
who are you? And she, my one sister, looked a lot like my mother's grandmother, who she was raised by. My mother was calling my sister Ma.
Wow, it's
She
trippy.
looked like her grandmother, who raised her.
Yeah,
trippy.
I think that
Yes.
what your mother had, though, Alzheimer's, I mean, her
There-
long-term memory was fading. You know, did it start with her short-term memory?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know what my mother. That's why they're
The
doing these
long-term memories
tests.
retained longer. She always wanted to go home.
I'm cooking.
You cook it. Okay, good.
How's the rice?
Well, we're expecting some.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why they're doing these tests. They got to do an MRI next, but they did the EEG, and now they're going to have to do the other one. But she said she's not going to go. But I didn't argue with her because I
By the
know
time comes, yeah.
next week she'll forget the whole experience of the
MRI though, you got to remain perfectly still.
I
And
know.
that noise. Is it just on her head or the
just
whole?
just her head, just her brain. They just want to see a picture of her brain.
Hopefully she'll stay still.
But I mean, whatever's going on, they can't cure it. It's but
They
Progressive.
wanna-
can and they
they
will.
want to do the
Progressive.
tests. Yeah.
It was good. I just had the urge to check the rice, though. I had to turn it down a little, but it's fine.
You're a professional.
Oh, good.
Good for you.
When we bring
No,
it
I-
over.
After decades of cooking, I literally have a clock in my brain. I'm convinced because
Yeah.
I can actually. I'm not making this up. I'll wake up in the morning, and before I look at my phone to see what time it is, I'm usually within 5 minutes every time.
Yeah, I have a weird thing with cooking. I can smell when it's done.
Yes,
When
you can
something's-
smell rice when it's almost done.
But not only rice. Anything I'm cooking, even if I'm baking something, I can smell when it's done, and it's
Sure, a
it's the
turkey,
weirdest
anything.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just tuned into it,
Are we like this is it?
What time is it?
and you're Polish.
This is it?
Oh,
We're okay.
Polish are good cooks.
It looks like we're out of time.
Italians are good cooks too.
Yeah, they're all right.
And on that
I'm just
note, what, on that note, there we go. Thanks everybody. This was fun.
Good seeing you all.
It's great to
James,
see-
wherever
Next
state
week,
of being
no
you're
show
in,
because
take it
we're
easy.
doing the Greg Sterley's
Thank you.
birthday party at Mohawk. Greg Sterley's birthday party at Mohawk Place,
Oh my God, on April 1st.
April 1st. Yeah.
I forgot all about it.
So come one, come all. It shall be fun. There will be cake. Okay. So Tom, are you planning on coming?
Hasta la vista.
Do you think you could do a little video of the because you do such a good job? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got Richard's coming. I'm going to pick him up. He's going to photograph people. You're coming. It's going to be like a little family reunion. All right. So yeah. Thank you, dear. So
No, I don't want to mute for now. I wanna-
so
on.